Hello again, everyone. This is Naomi Denmother at EQII Trader's Corner, and I am picking up with the 5th quest in the Reign of Shadows Tradeskill signature line. It is called Tiptoe Through the Shadows. It begins in the Nexus, where the 4th quest left off, with Erdani Relep. I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, but anyway, Erdani it is. And she is going to be going out and making a garden in a very dark and scary place. And she's kind of afraid of the dark. So she's actually hoping that she can find some plants that will produce their own light, make some lights or whatever, and so on and so forth. So she's wanting you to meet her at her preferred location for the farm, because she does need it in that dark area, and hope that you can help her from there. So the first thing you do is you go back to Echo Caverns. This time, however, you have flight. It unlocked when you handed in the last quest. So now you get to use your new flight to go to Savage Weald. I show you the map. If you were trying to do it mostly on foot, then you would have to head out back where we were tagging things and go up the stream and wind around and around and around and around until you get to that northeast corner where the Savage Weald zone is. We're not going to do that, though. Remember where Piccolo is? Piccolo is surrounded by people right now, but if you look up and to the right a little bit, there's a hole in the wall. Imagine that. It's another set of tunnels. Can only be reached by flight, but it saves you a lot of time. And you're at Chasm Fiend Cliffs. And yeah, it's got lots of things that are orange con when you're level 120, so you really don't want to deal with them unless you have to. We're going to go towards this round platform, but then just under it, to the right a little bit, and look at that, there's a tunnel. You just saved yourself about 10 minutes of running. And now we are in the Savage Weald. These are slightly higher level mobs than they were in Echo Caverns. They will all be orange con. The first starting area here is non-aggro taggy, thankfully. So you just kind of wander through them. If you're following me on the mini map, you can see where I'm headed. Let me show you on the big map where my little red arrow is there. And that is where you will find an aeromanced transport. That pops you down below. So we take that little flight. Saves you from falling to your death or other fun things like that. And you are going into aggro area. Remember that you have those calming items from the 2nd quest. You can use them. It's either that or you're going to be dodging a lot. So now I'm going to the road. You can see there's some PQs that are up if you look at the map there, and those circles with aqua around the picture of the mob. But I'm going to be on the roads here. Until I hit this spot here. There are aggro taggy in that camp. You don't want them. You don't want the owl bear there either. So you just kind of zig between them. The bugs are not aggro, thankfully. So just steer clear of the owl bears. Turn up here. wander around this tree, cross the water, which is the Nightshade River, carefully climb up, look around for some of those shadowed moor wolves because you do not want to land on top of one of them. And I'm going to go the other side of the tree because I saw a couple of them. Managed to dodge those. And as I say, I'm dodging what I can, but if I can't, I'm just going to kill it. And there you are on the big map. This is where Erdani wants to set up her garden. So she tells you about a specific type of bioluminescent fungus that she's hoping will help. And you're going to have to wander around and look for little glowing fungi. Sometimes there's one back here. There isn't right now. I may have just pulled aggro. I may not have. There's one. Dormant emanating mushrooms. And yes, I have my Merc out now because these are higher level mobs. And I don't mind fighting to get things out of the way. There's 2 shrooms. I see a third glow to my left. Hi, puppy. Bye, puppy. Leave me alone. Don't bite. And there we go. That's 3. Thankfully, that's all she wants. I'm resisting the urge to pick up shinies as I see them. She's decided that they might work, but she's not positive. So she wants you to see if you can get more. She wants 50 more. Now you can run around the zone and find 50 of them over time. That will take a decent amount of time though. But instead, since we don't have fast travel here, if we had fast travel, I would be heading back to Fort Elmidst and going to Echo Caverns from there. But instead, I'm going this way, which is going to take me back through Echo Caverns. And I'm going to see if Piccolo has any, because, well, Piccolo collects odd things, and he had had some interest in those mushrooms, so you never know. Get my bearings for a moment. And not do a very good job of it. I know there's a tunnel here somewhere. I just kind of lost where I was going. Yes, I'm a ranger. I'm easily lost. Okay, that was the tunnel I just came out of. So it's going to be over here somewhere. And I could get a waypoint and figure it out, but I'm trying to do it from memory. And that's not quite where I expected to go. So I'm running around lost. This looks very different from this direction than it did from the other. And I can't find my platform to save my life. So I'm just going to train this aggro around until I can set down. I'm going to sit down here. Tell my Merc to back off. Here we go. Thank you, Merc. Grab my handy dandy sculpting hammer from Sentinel's Fate and use it to evac. So 2 evacs to get back to here if you don't have fast travel to go to Fort Elmidst and then come back from there. And yes, you did see Erdani give me 3 vials as well. Those are travel baubles. So Once you talk to Piccolo and he decides that you're going to owe him a favor for later, you have your satchel of 50 shrooms. And my will of the wheels disappeared. She gave me 3 of them. And for some reason, oh, my filtering is off. So it dropped it in that bag. Okay. I was a little confused. So I'm using one of those 3 potions of the Will of the Weald to get back to Erdani without all that flying and running again. Find your way there once, and then after that you can use some shortcuts. Because this little fellow, Vuchaz, will have more of them that you can buy. So I pick up a couple extras. Talk to Erdani. And she wants to mix the shrooms with what is more or less a corpse-eating plant. Gotta love strange forests. So you need these corpse creeper flower seeds. You need 10 of them. You can get 2 per corpse once you can find some corpses. And these are not your normal mob corpses. They're dead taggy. And I see some there. I'm just going to get the wolf out of the way. So there's a Brimling corpse. Gather from it twice. There's 2 seeds. 8 more to go. I will resist the urge to sing the Dead Puppies song. They can be scattered in a rather wide area here, so you just kind of wander around until you find them. Don't go in there. Scattered to a point. There are also bats up in the trees, just as an FYI, and they can be aggro, so you kind of have to watch in multiple dimensions here. Now I'm getting impatient. Trying not to travel too far away in order to find the corpses. The corpses are not obliging. I only need 1 more corpse, so of course, because I'm showing this off, it's being stubborn. So I'm diving. There's often one down here. There are a lot of people trying to do last-minute beta stuff, though, since the server will go down sometime today or tomorrow morning. So I had to go a little further than I had hoped in order to get everything. And yes, there are some very hard to see phantoms that are pinkish purple in color. So you don't want to get stomped on by them. But now I have to get back up to the top of that waterfall, because that's the way to Erdani. And I'm just going to be impatient and grumpy and abuse the owl bear. So I go back up the path. I will be glad when I can fly, but that won't happen until I'm done with the questing here. Up around the tree. Of course, the mutt is right in the way. There we go. So I return to Erdani. And she doesn't think her candles are going to be enough light for what she needs, and she is afraid of the dark. So she wants you to check around and see if you can find anything about potential light sources. She also gives you a rough spun shelter, house item, as a reward. So now you need to go back to Piccolo for potential light sources. I don't want to wait for my escape to cool down. So since fast travel is turned off on beta, I'm going to call the guild hall, and then from there I'm going to go to Fortal Midst. It's a little bit the long way around, but at this point I just want to get it done. I am not qualified yet for the portal to Echo Caverns, or the bauble, the port bauble for it, which will be buyable at the end of the signature line. So I head west, go back to Echo Caverns. I'm going to be building up quite the IOU with Piccolo here, continually asking him for help now. Or anyway, he thinks I owe him. Considering I helped him get set up and everything, he can decide who owes whom later. So he asks about you ask him about a carnivorous plant that is found near corpses, and he says that he has none, but that he knows somebody that might be able to help you. So he sends you to the bazaar to speak with someone called Ciricia. So you run back to Fort Ilmist and the Nexus area, and then you're going to the bazaar. So the bazaar is the northern hallway in the Nexus area. And you won't have to worry too much about getting lost looking for her, because if that platform wasn't there, she would have been straight ahead. Here she is. She's on her lunch break. You want to know about plant. And she gets really weird really fast. Like, she changes the subject and she gives you a recipe for a dimly lit firefly lamp, which probably isn't going to do the trick. But it was like she was about to say something and then she stopped herself and kind of blew you off. It's very odd. And now I've decided I'm just running to the area where the smiths are, so that I have crafting station. I could have just warped back to Erdani, come to think of it, because she's got a station next to her, but since I'm here, I will do them. And you're going to need to make 4 of these. Each one will need a jumping creeper, 8 slow creeping root, 32 hornbeam spruce log, and 16 radiant algae, along with 30 coruscating coal. I'm going to pause in a moment here so that you don't have to watch me do the combine of all 4 of them. My 4 lamps are complete. I am now using the Will of the Weald to port back to Erdani. Those baubles might be a little spendy, but actually these days a plat isn't that much, except if you're on test or something like that. But return to Erdani, give her them, and she's not too sure either about them. But since I'm on the beta server and mail is fast here, I've got mail already. On live servers, you may be waiting up to half an hour to get your mail, although if you zone a couple times, it may come faster. And there's a letter from Ciricia apologizing and saying that she couldn't speak of it more near local ears. So she wants you to meet her in a different part of the bazaar, and she will tell you more. You must receive the item that she gave you in the mail. which disappears, but it gives you your quest update and tells you to meet with her. So unless you do that, you're not going to get to meet with her. You're going to get to the point and she won't be visible. So make sure that you have indeed accepted the item that's in the email so that it updates the quest and it moves her to a different part of the bazaar. Now, we're going to see if I get lost again because I'm not ready on my other evac. Not able to use it. And we'll hopefully get me through here this time. There's the platform, there's the hole. I can't believe I missed it. I was off to the left somewhere the other time. So now you see how directionally impaired I can be at times. There we go. Drop down practically on Piccolo's head just because. Dive bomb him, whatever. And back to the Nexus we go. Once you're there, head north. You're going to go to the bazaar. Try not to get distracted by Discord messages that are coming through because some of them look like they're from Ninja, so there might be some updates on something I want to know. Come here, hang a left, and then just run west. Avoid the Zelmi, avoid the people wandering around, avoid the kitty cats that are wandering around, and just keep running till the end. Go through the tunnel, and you will come out right over the arena. And there to your left is Cericia. So, you're not going to get this whole conversation bit because I'm a Vashir. So she tells you that, you don't know your own history sort of thing. With other people, she will tell you it's a plant that some part of it is sacred to the Vashir for some ritual that they use. So she didn't want to talk about it in front of local ears. I can understand that, cultural sensitivity and all that. She's like, just, don't grow them where, they're going to be seen by the Vashir. So now you've got the plant cuttings. You could return to Erdani. I used my Will of the Weald, which is why I bought a couple extra so that I didn't run out. And you explain about it a little bit. And she decides that she's going to combine the fungi with the plant clippings and hopefully get some better lanterns out of it, and then have more cuttings that she can use for actual planting. You will be given a sacred tiger plushie, as well as the recipe for the Leukocyte hanging lantern. Handy dandy crafting area. I'm a carpenter, so all those other lanterns. You're going to need 1 primal Leukocyte shard, 9 Leukocyte cluster, 18 slow creeping root, 25 hornbeam spruce log, and 25 coruscating sandpaper. And again, you're going to need to make 4, so I am pausing this and I will pick up after I finish combines. I have made the 4 lanterns, and now we go back to Erdani again. Chat with her for a moment. She's going to make me a hot meal, supposedly, while I place the lanterns. There's these nice vines sticking out here, and that's where the lanterns go. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Helps if I click. Return to her. She tells you a little bit about the Vashir, about how they don't allow their history to be written down and so forth. and tells you that she found out about it from a helpful Vlashir who cheered her up while she was trying to work on this project and so forth. He gave her moral support and said that he could see it in the stars that she would do her goal and grow beautiful flowers. And she wants to thank him. So she's preserved a flower. And yes, I just fell like a lead balloon. She preserved a flower for him, and she wants you to deliver it. So of course you will. And I just jumped down because I wanted to take the cross-country way to get to Charval. And suddenly you're seeing people riding those owl bears. So these owl bears are safe to get near because they're some of the Charval guards. I'll show you where you are on the map. You're down at the south, slightly to the east. This is the zone into the city. And for this next part, this is a non-fly zone no matter what, but it's also non-aggro. So I'm getting rid of my Merc. And I'm running to find Sharaka. I'll let you folks do your own sightseeing later. Here's Sharaka. Chat with him. Deliver the flower. Tell him about Erdani and how she's grateful. He gives you quest completion, as well as 32 plat, which is really nice, and a standing gardening tool, which is a hoe, which is very handy. And that completes Tiptoe Through the Shadows. We will return momentarily with yet another video for the next quest in the line.